my name is Tiana Linez and welcome to my crib on YouTube, where I help you shift your mindset and your marketing strategy so you can produce your dream life. So in today's video, I want to share my experience turning 30, hence the crown. Okay, I'm 30. Like, when did I become an auntie for real? But it's fine, I'm embracing it. In this video, I want to do some reflecting and just kind of talk about my experience turning 30, how I celebrate it, maybe give you some ideas of how you can celebrate your birthday in the future too. So let's get into it. A few years ago, my sister gave me an idea to have a 90s theme party for my 30th birthday. And 2 months before my birthday, I decided to actually do it. So it was last minute planning, all hands on deck, but it turned out to be absolutely amazing. So shout out to my family and everybody that helped me bring it to life. I want to show you guys a quick video so that you can get into the vibe, you can see all that we did, and kind of wish that you were there because it was a turn up for sure. Check it out.
Yo, what's up? This is your man Montel Jordan. And if you're watching this message, it's because you have been a part of a life that is worth celebrating. I'm talking about my girl, Tiana Ridgeway. Hey, girl. That's right. It's your birthday and you're turning 30 years young. And I'm so glad I get to be a small part of a big day to celebrate my girl because this is how she do it. Y'all about to be lit and turn up and do all that because she is worthy of celebrating. Tiana, I love you, girl. I'm so glad that I get to be a part of celebrating you. A creative woman, empathetic, a social, a little bit bossy at times. But hey, all of those things make you uniquely you. So listen, as we celebrate your flirty 30th, we just want you to know that you're being honored and appreciated and valued and celebrated because this is how she do it. Yo, everybody, welcome my girl, Tiana Ridgeway. Let's go!
She stayed on the train.
So that's a glimpse of my 90s party with the millennial twist, and it was such a vibe. Like, for real. I'm a little biased because it was my party, but it was amazing, and we were really committed to the theme. So we wanted to bring in elements of the 90s, but also of the early 2000s. So we had it through the music, through the intro with Montel Jordan. We had it through these super cute cupcake toppers that my aunt made that had different TV shows and movies that represented the 90s and the early 2000s. We also had a dope game room that had classic games like Twister and Bop It and Slinkies, just all the things that made you feel nostalgic about the 90s. So we were super committed to the theme, and it really made me proud when I walked in there and just saw my friends and family just happy, smiling, and just like they lit me up. So before the party, before the celebration, the party was like a culmination of like just 30 years of life and 30 years of coming into my own. And I think I grew a lot the week leading up to my birthday, and I just kind of didn't expect that. So you kind of don't expect growth. It kind of just happens, right? But it was so many learning experiences leading up to it. So it all started when I was at the grocery store, a week before my birthday, and the gentleman looked at my ID and was like, you don't look a day over 20. And I'm like, okay, thank you. And he's like, happy almost birthday. And I'm like, thank you, because I love birthdays. So I'm like, all season is my season. So I think that deposited a seed that made me think about the last 10 years. And I was kind of going down a negative rabbit hole, honestly, about what I did not have. So I wasn't even looking at what I have accomplished and what my life has been and all the great things. I was just kind of like, okay, yeah, like those are there, but there's certain areas in my life that I have made no progress in. This is the story I'm telling myself. It's not true, but that was the story I was telling myself, that there was certain areas in my life that I didn't make progress in, that I wasn't so proud about. Specifically, if I'm keeping it undone, dating, right? I have always been that girl that wanted to be in a healthy relationship, wanted to be married since I was like a little kid. So I've always dreamed about being someone's wife, and it's just been very struggle life. So I was doing a lot of uncovering how I felt about dating, and I was dating, kind of talking to a guy at the time, and so him seemingly being in my life and seeming to have somebody when I was turning 30, but him not giving the energy that I wanted, I kind of just had to cut him off. Because it just didn't feel right for me, right? So I started to get really clear on like what I wanted, like really what do I want out of the next chapter. So after I was grieving my 20s and just allowed myself to feel whatever emotions came up, because that's the thing that's so important, is to give yourself space to feel the emotions. So if it's grief of saying over the past 10 years I have not found the love that I have been looking for and looking to give, allowing myself to say, that's here, this feeling is here, but what am I going to do about it? So after I gave myself permission to feel however I felt, I started to think about, what did I want in my 30s? What does turning 30 mean? And for me, it means I am comfortable in my skin. I am comfortable with my voice. I am very self-aware. I think I realized the week leading up to my birthday how self-aware I am, and that's what I think is one of my greatest strengths. Is that there's not much that somebody can tell me that I don't already know about myself. I'm actively trying to work on things, but I know that it's there, and I'm aware of how I show up in rooms and what I say. So I'm very thoughtful in that. And leading up to my birthday, I tried to shift my energy from feeling sad about what I didn't have, and instead feeling empowered about who I have become over the past 10 years. So I'm extremely proud of myself, and I think it's so easy to kind of look at what you don't have, but to really focus on what you do have. And so the days leading up to it, my birthday, I felt better about my situation and was really patting myself on the back for who I've become. Not even what I've accomplished, but who I've become, because that's what really matters. My integrity, my how I show up, my empathy, like those traits that have nothing to do with what I do professionally, that's what I started to recognize as things to be proud of leading up to my 30th birthday. One of the highlights from my party was an impromptu speech, okay? Your girl had a little too many shots of Crown Royal apple flavor, okay? And somebody gave me the mic, or did I grab the mic? I don't know, but I started a speech. It was just like a moment to acknowledge everybody in the room, and I went person by person and said something about them that just kind of provided context into who they are and, you know, the value that they've had in my life. And so I've talked for like 20 minutes and almost started crying, but it was so important for me to make these personal connections. I've met so many people over the last decade of growing in my professional career and through personal relationships, and I have so many amazing people in my life, and the people that I invited to my party, they all were there for a very specific reason. It was an intentional, curated list of people. So I even extra where I mailed invitations, because I wanted to have that throwback feel, but also that personal touch. So me doing my impromptu speech was a way to acknowledge everybody and to just really thank the people that are in my life. Because I definitely feel like I'm a very social person, but the past 2 years, okay, like what has happened? It's crazy. So I think my social skills, I've just kind of disconnected from people. So my birthday was an opportunity to really like love on people and touch them and to thank them for the value and thank them for their presence in my life and the value and letting them know how much I valued them. So it didn't intend to talk for 20 minutes, but it was what the spirit led me to do in the shots of Crown Royal. The last note that I want to say about my birthday party is I was committed to the content, okay? So not only did I have the highlight reel, I had a photographer, I had a 360 booth because I wanted to capture the moment. It is important for me to be able to look back and look at these memories and look at these photos and remember that time, because I don't know if I'm going to throw a party again, okay? There was a lot of planning. So it might be a while, and I want to be able to, whenever I'm having a bad day, I want to be able to channel the good vibe that I had at my party by looking at the video, looking at photos and all the content that I created or, you know, had other people create with me. So I was committed to the theme of the 90s party with a millennial twist, and I was committed to the content. All right, so that was my birthday party. That was part 1 of the 30 turn up celebration. Part 2, I went to Vegas. So the people say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But I'm gonna bring my roommate, my best friend Janae in, who came on this trip with me in one of my next videos to talk about our experience in Vegas. Because it was truly learning lessons. I believe that God wanted us to see certain things, to have the experience that we did so that we could grow up. At least for me, I felt like it was a trip to grow up on. So I'm gonna briefly talk about some of the highlights of our Vegas trip, and then we're gonna take a deep dive in the next video. All right, so this Vegas trip was so unplanned. Y'all, we had booked our hotel and our flight and just pulled up. Did not have an idea of what we're doing when, and typically I have more of a thoughtful approach to traveling and I know what I wanna do, but because of all the excitement and the energy that went into the birthday party itself, I really wanted the Vegas trip to just be relaxing. I wanted to just exist in somewhere aside from my hometown. I wanted to just be and not to have to be on or do anything in particular, and it was everything that I needed and so much more. So relaxing, so chill, but also very fun. So I brought my best friend Janae, as I mentioned. She's my roommate too, so it felt like we were at home, but we were just in another city, and so that was really dope. So some of the things that we did in Vegas is we hung out at the pool, we went to the Vegas Strip, of course, but it really wasn't that type of vibe where we're like hanging out, trying to scope the scene. It was a trip to reset and to refresh our minds and our spirits, and I personally felt like leading up to it, my energy was all over. Like, my thoughts were all over. I was all consumed with this boy and whether he's trying to date me or not, and just all these negative feelings I personally was feeling, in addition to the emotional baggage that I was talking about earlier. And it was important for me to just take a minute to pause and to just be, and to just exist, and to not have to do anything, and not to have to be on, or not to have to answer to anybody, but also not to have to feel obligated to turn up and just like party, because that's just not my vibe anyway. But like, it was a very balanced trip. So we did hang out, have a few drinks, okay? We're gonna go into that night in the next video. So we like hung out. We also, very in adulting manner, one day in the hotel, we like did a budget for, you know, our next phase. Like, we're both trying to do better with our finances. We refreshed our morning routines. I personally wrote my list of what I'm looking for in a man, like in an updated list of characteristics, not even of, you know, bank account, on X, or you know, he drives this car, like really the characteristics that I'm looking for in a partner. So just getting clear, getting intentional on what I really want. So that's why Vegas was everything for me, to just be able to reset and reassess how I feel about my life and what I want in my next chapter. I think Vegas was also a reminder of the bigger theme of my birthday, is that I just have some dope people in my life, and I'm truly loved, and I'm so blessed for the relationships that I have. So I have a family friend that lives in Vegas, and she really took us under her wing. Like, she had just had surgery. 2 days later, she at the grocery store telling us to pick out stuff for tacos, and then 2 days later after that, we at the casino. It was just like knowing that I'm loved and that people have my back. That's a theme for my birthday in general, that the love that I put out there, that I've been putting out there for the past 20, 30 years, though I have not had it from a romantic partner, I have it all around me. There's so many people that's amazing in my life, and I have so much to be grateful for. And this trip reminded me of that, how my family friend Della and her husband Pierre just really looked out for us and made sure that we were straight in Vegas and had everything that we need. The highlight of my Vegas trip was going to the Grand Canyon. Oh my goodness, y'all. Like, I wrote that. So in December, I did a little staycation and I wrote out what I wanted in 2022. And that was one of the things, as I said, I wanted to go to Vegas and go to the Grand Canyon, because it's not far. It's probably like a 2-hour drive, and we did it as a part of a tour. And while I was there, I just kept thinking about how intentional that God is about the world, about everything, right? Just like looking out and seeing how vast and how beautiful that the Grand Canyon is, and that it serves a purpose for us to see, right? It's just such a beautiful sight for us and a wonder of the world. And to say that God intricately and beautifully designed the Grand Canyon just as much as he beautifully designed you and me. He had the same level of intention and purpose with creating the Grand Canyon as he is creating our life. And it was just such a spiritual moment for me to be there, to be able to witness that, to be able to have it just come so easily. Like, I asked for it and it came. I said I wanted to do it, and the opportunity presented it for us to do it without any issue, without any hiccups. And it's also a reminder that when something is ordained for you to do, is divinely aligned for you, it will be of ease. It will just happen. It will just flow. And the Grand Canyon was a reminder that God has everything planned out for me, that I don't have to worry or stress or force. The right things, the right people, the right opportunities will flow into my life. And I'm just so grateful. I had such an amazing birthday season, and this is just part one of my birthday reflections. I'm definitely gonna bring my best friend Janae to talk about our experience in Vegas together, and why I had to call 911 while we were in Vegas. I ain't never called the police a day in my life, y'all. And I had to call when I was in Vegas. Again, learning lessons. It was time to grow up, and it was what I needed to see. So I hope this video inspires your next birthday shenanigans, or just gave you a reminder about how valuable relationships are and how intricate and divinely orchestrated your life can be when you really trust God and just lean on him and let him show up and show out in your life. Because I am truly a testament. The past 30 years have been everything that God wanted it for me, and I'm so grateful for the life that I am blessed to live. So I'm heading out for this video, kicking y'all out my crib on YouTube for today, okay? But I hope to see you in the next video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and show some love. Let me know what you think about this video and other topics that you want me to cover in the future. All right, bye friends.